Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Season 20 of the Chobo Team League. This is going to be another weekly cast by me and Snoopy. I had some hiccups starting off. We're a little bit late, but we made it here, and we're going to cast Week 1 of the CTL.
Yep.
This week was versus Formless Bear Sloths.
Yeah, and already starting off with the bat, we have Nemesis in the chat gifting a sub to Nemesis is continuing a gift sub that she got from Jedi Zella. So
Nice.
yeah, to this month, September is the September month where you can actually continue the sub for $1. So it's a good deal there.
Yeah, thank you a lot, Nemesis. We've been getting so many subs, so many donations. It's been amazing.
All right.
Alrighty, so
let's go ahead and load this replay, I guess.
Yeah, put the lobby up. Let me invite you to it.
Oh, we have Lord of Terrans in the chat. Welcome.
Yo, what's going on, man? Gonna be playing for us this week in the diamond slot.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so yeah, I'm excited, man. We're back into the CTL, routine.
Yeah, it feels good. I was anticipating actually a pretty long off season, but the admins wanted to get this in before the holidays. So this is, we only had about a couple week break, but I think we're really strong. We've got a stronger roster than last season even. Got a lot of good players, a lot of new players coming in. So I'm excited. Snoopy, are you in? Where are you? Are you in the clan chat? Because I don't see you.
Oh, let me go ahead and join your game, your replay lobby. I think I should.
Oh, wait a second. I just got it. Invite to game. There you go.
Yep. So I mean, even though it's been a few weeks since the last season ended, I feel like it's been forever for some reason. I was like thinking to myself like, oh, it just feels like I haven't casted with you in a while. The CTL replay. And I was like, yeah. So I was excited to come back and cast the replays with you once again. Again, I guess maybe you can introduce or let the people know like the format of the CTL so they could.
Yeah, this is a weekly team league. We play once a week against a opponent. There's 12 teams in the league. It's been fluctuating, but we're in our 20th season, and it's bronze to masters, but more realistically, it's like gold, platinum to masters. So it's one of the leagues that back when it started, there really wasn't much content for the lower leagues, so it incorporated a lot of opportunities for plat players, diamond players, and masters players to join in. Players schedule their matches. It's a bit more of a casual atmosphere, but the league has a lot of history and a lot of prestige, in my opinion, winning it. So I really hope this can be the season where we win it. We won season 17 a couple seasons ago, and the last two seasons we've made it to the quarterfinals. Couldn't quite make it. So I'm hoping this is going to be the one where we can repeat that championship.
Yeah, I mean, especially because the stakes are actually much higher this time.
that's right. If we win this one, Snoopy said, because we've been harassing Snoopy to give us a Brood War channel for all three of us, people that like Brood War and PsiX, and actually it's about 6 now, so you got to take that into account. Mm-hmm. So we've been bringing it up a lot tactfully, and he said, well, he's had enough of us asking him, so he's going to, if we win this season of CTL, he's going to give us the channel dedicated to the victory.
Yep. So yeah, that's stakes not just the championship but also for our Brood War channel.
Did you get the game?
It just stuck at entering lobby for some reason. Huh. So maybe I should go ahead and log out maybe?
Or how about we lobby up?
Or party up?
I mean party up, that's right.
Okay. And it's still stuck at entering lobby, so I don't have any way to cancel it, so I actually might have to just might just have to log out still.
See. we're in a party. Can you see it now?
No, it's still stuck at entering lobby. That's yeah. So yeah, I'll just go ahead and just log out and then re-log in.
Okay. Yeah, I think we started up the stream, but mine was lagging way too much. I think there was something wrong, maybe my internet, but it's frustrating because I've been streaming past couple weeks a lot, personal stream, and it's been fine. Got some more RAM, but for some reason, it's not in the stars for me to stream on PsiX easily, smoothly.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. All right, go ahead and invite me back to party, and hopefully this replay will load.
Entering. There we go.
There we go.
See right. Landfear and Chevy in the chat. What's going on, guys? How you doing? So this is going to be on Dreamcatcher. This is map. Well, okay. So actually, this week there was 2 forfeits for their set 1 and 2. So this is set 3 we're starting at for game 1. So we're already up 2-0. And this is Cosmic Hero. This is a new player for us, joined recently, and yeah, going to be up for the 3rd set, which is a MMR boundary. It's around D3.
Awesome. All right, spawning here at the bottom right corner of the map, it is the orange Terran player representing Psionic Aftermath. It is Cosmic Hero.
And at the top, in the green, it is the Terran for Formless Bear Sloths. Please, Ben, no. No.
No, please, no.
I mean, I gotta say, Formless Bear Sloth is a pretty cool name. You know, I gotta say it.
Yeah, I mean,
not as cool as PsiX, but it's up there.
Yeah, I mean, they have even their logo. I think is pretty nice too, right?
Yeah.
Like you can see it, like it's all purple with the little bear on, little kind of bear thing. Yeah, it's pretty nice.
You guys probably know some of their members. Duddles, one of the big ones. You know, they're on a smaller side of the gaming communities, but they're been involved in the CTL for a long time, and they've been a playoff contender for quite a while as well. So this is a older team, and gonna see if their had a change of leadership this season, and we'll see if they can keep up the success they have had in the past.
Oh, I actually did not know that. It used to be led by Tech 4, or
Tech 4 is for All In.
Oh, right. I don't remember their former leader, but it's they usually get far in the playoffs. I think if I remember correctly, or they make a good run during the CTL season.
Yeah, definitely. So we've got both players going for 2 racks here. Cosmic is going to catch Ben's scouting SCV, and then so no scout out for Cosmic yet, and there is a Reaper, so you might be able to deny it if his second Reaper comes out in time. Oh,
Laura Terran's reminding us it's Dutless. I think that's the leader for former Beer Sloths.
Wait, what? What did he say?
He said, "Who is Dutless, Kappa?"
It's Duddles.
Oh, Duddles. Okay.
It's kind of a meme in the CTL community. Who's Duddles?
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, it's kind of a inside joke that I don't really get, but it's like I know it's an inside joke and that I'm not a part of it. So,
you know, there's an inside joke that I don't understand within Psionic Aftermath. I heard it before, the phrase "streamer make ghosts." If you recall.
Oh, I've heard of it, but I it's one of those things like that's an inside joke I'm not a part of, so
Yeah,
I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
Ben is coming in here with his Reapers. Might be able to pick off a few SCVs. Hesitated though. Gonna get one. And Hellion coming in the other side. This is a nice grenade. This is some harassment coming in from Ben.
Ooh, yeah, that's pretty nice. Have not even lost a Reaper yet. Oh, as I just said that. Does lose one.
Yeah, so Cosmic's natural was a lot faster than Ben's. Ben is floating quite a bit of minerals here. And he's actually starting his third CC, a really fast third CC on Dreamcatcher, which of course has that hard to hold third base. So looks like Cosmic is going to come in here with a bio drop. He's not going the mech style that is popular in TVT. Just going to be going, well, at least he's going to go for a drop. Stim is almost done. And that could be quite a powerful drop. There's not a ton out for Ben, and especially if it's in the wrong position. There is a siege tank, so that is nice. But if he goes in the natural where there isn't much, he can get quite a few kills.
Alright, looks like the medevacs are loaded. Medevacs floating across the map. Will not be scouted by the Hellions. Oh, actually, Lord Return says, basically the streamer make ghost meme came from when Twitch chat used to spam it when ghosts were never made in games. Ah, I see.
See ghosts occasionally, maybe in a TVT.
Yeah. Oh, we did say the Liberator just passed by the medevacs. We're not sure if he can actually caught a glimpse of it or not. Looks like he has not moved his units yet, so I think he wasn't paying attention, but he will drop on the tanks and take it out immediately.
Ooh, that's a really nice pickup. These Stim Marines with medevacs are being super cost effective, getting some Hellions as well. The second tank will clean it up though. And the Liberator, did it get away? Where's the Liberator?
Oh, it came back to the
okay.
To the main. Yeah, I think he did that. He did that F2 kind of hockey, I think.
Uh-oh, all army hockeys. Bad. Don't use them. There's a Viking patrolling for Cosmic. That's a nice move. I really like that, just to scout for potential Liberators or medevacs, especially. Give you a little bit of extra vision. That's a high-level move. And it's smart. I think it's used to be called the Polt Viking. Polt was pretty famous for doing that, using more so in TVZ, but also in TVT.
Yeah, I remember
getting
that.
a Viking out there to gain some map presence.
And he would actually sometimes fly it across the map and just land in their mineral lines randomly.
Yeah. I remember in Wings of Liberty when the Vikings, that was like one of the sickest new strategies because nobody was used to it, just landing a fleet of Vikings in mineral lines. So Cosmic's third's coming up, and Ben's is out. So his was actually quite aggressive, but we'll see if he can get the army macro behind it. A lot of his barracks have been idle for quite a time, and was floating minerals before. So if he can capitalize on that third base, it's going to be pretty good, although Cosmic's is coming in as well. Interestingly, not sure why Cosmic is floating his third TC all the way over.
Yeah, I'm actually curious why too. It's I mean, the third is like right next to the. Oh wait, actually, oh okay, looks like it was a mistake.
And then he waffles. Wow. He was basically closer at that point too, I think.
Yeah, it was just basically a little mistake.
So for composition, we've got both players pretty much going Marine tank. That's what we've been seeing a lot recently is, get some tanks for the heavy firepower, and then you use the Stim Marines for mobility to catch, unsieged tanks or things like that, drops as well. The third from Ben is pretty exposed if we see some drops. Although he's got a drop of his own coming in, and the natural of Cosmic is wide open as well.
Yeah, I mean, he just, when he was flying over, He just moved out. And it was unfortunate because Cosmic Hero wasted 2 scans to scout the army of Please Ben No, but it actually missed it, like barely. So now he has actually no idea that Please Ben No has half his army across the map and about to drop into the natural as well.
Okay, the drop is down and it's getting a ton of SV kills. There is some reinforcing bio from Cosmic that he can't pull over. But meanwhile, Ben's army is getting massacred there. Some tanks on the rocks. And Cosmic can start pushing forward here with those tanks, although Ben has realized. And Cosmic's medevacs are getting caught out of position. He needs to pull back. He's lost so many SCVs. He's lost 18 SCVs so far. That's huge. And his third was delayed as well. So this is a big loss for Cosmic.
Yeah, and he doesn't even he doesn't have a 4th base to even make up that difference, because if you had a 4th or even a 5th base, you can, even if you're down a few workers, you can kind of come back. But he's kind of even on bases, and he's down by 64 to 39 workers. Oh, that was a nice block there.
Yeah, it was I'm not sure if it was cost effective though. I think he lost more than he gained there. But Cosmic Hero is trying to rush around the bottom side of this third. I think that is a smart decision. If he can get the tanks there sieged up, then that will be really hard to push out for Ben. Ben needs to get those tanks down there to defend, because Cosmic is just going to wrap around. Oh no, it looks like Ben is going the long way around, and there's no tanks here, so this force is going to do really well.
Oh no!
Ben's trying to go around the other side, but it's getting massacred by tanks.
Oh man, that was a really big blunder by Please Ben No. He engaged with only half his army, and then he engaged the other half. And even though Please Ben No is up way ahead in the workers, he's actually down in army supply. So this might be Cosmic Hero's chance to maybe even take this game.
Yeah, that was a huge mistake. Cosmic's really been hurting because of all the SCVs he lost. But it doesn't really matter because Ben's army is so out of position. And now Cosmic's taking down the third. Now he's up a base, essentially. And he really just got outmaneuvered there. He had a sufficient enough army to defend that for sure. But just didn't have tank sieged up with the third. And that's going to be a mistake that will could cost him the game.
All right, looks like 1-1, or actually 2-2 for Cosmic Hero is about to finish. He is pretty ahead in terms of upgrades. I mean, Please Ben No is only on +1. He does have +1 armor about to finish, but he's still going to be behind in the upgrades. And that's going to be even more apparent because he is already down pretty heavily in terms of army supply.
Cosmic's bleeding some Marines there. Gets in one tank though, that's nice.
Yeah, gotta be careful with those rallies.
Especially on Dreamcatcher, the winding around can be hard. Units can walk weird places and wander around.
For sure.
Cosmic is trying, he's shelling some buildings at the top of this. But that's risky to do when there's tanks here. Ooh, he's dropping Marines on the tanks. I really love this. He's going to take out a tank for maybe 2 Marines or so. That's sick. He's going to get another one. So just being so cost effective with his Marines and making trades. Ben is trying to get his third base up at the other side, but it's been so delayed. He has a base built, so he's going to try to double expand off of this. But Cosmic Hero's just taking his time. He's sieged up, and he's just dropping Marines, taking out tanks. It's so cost effective.
Yeah, so smart of him. And he's going to even take the one last tank of the main, and that means he can actually go ahead and ravage the mineral line. Oh man, this tank is derping and will be taken out.
He's lost about 5 tanks here just from this. And the bio is unchecked. It's going to come right into the main. We've got a Doom Drop coming in from Ben on the force, but the Vikings gunned down a few of those medevacs before they could come and drop units on those tanks. That was a disaster for Ben. Bio is still alive in the main, killing everything.
Yeah, I mean, when you get on top of the Terran's army, production structure, then it becomes really hard to actually come back into the game because you don't actually have enough to have enough army to produce from.
Oh, so many tanks getting gunned down by this force of bio. It's so efficient. And yeah, I think he's dead here. The army of Cosmic just marching forward, and he just got straight up outmaneuvered. His macro was all right, but he just couldn't make the right decisions in a TVT to pull it out.
Yeah, I mean, very impressive because remember, he was down by a lot of workers. He got like 18, like you said, 18 or something workers killed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he really needed to make that attack work, and definitely. But, you know, at the same time, please Ben note, didn't have the greatest engagement out in the middle. And I think that might have cost him the game there.
Yeah, didn't have the greatest is a nice way of saying it, for sure. Yeah, it in TVT it's all about positioning, especially you're going Marine tank. You can have games where you're so far ahead and then just blow it all in a horrible engagement.
Oh yeah, it's so common these days. So yeah, PsiX Aftermath going up 3-0 at this point, right?
Because of the forfeited games.
Yeah. So just need one more to win the week.
And we're going into game number 4 in the top corner of Blue Shift. For Formless Bear Sloths, we have Mr. Hyde.
And at the bottom left corner of the map, he is the Teal Protoss. He is your friendly neighborhood cannon rusher, Xenodactyl.
So PvP for him. He's pretty confident in this. Although the one issue is it started to become quite predictable. Because everyone knows Xeno is a cannon rusher. So that's something he has to deal with. Players will be really aware of this and they'll be scouting for this. I think I'm thinking of last season, but players really started to scout for the cannon rushes before they even came. So now Xenodactyl is going gateway. He's expanding his build knowledge into things other than cannon rushes, which I'm glad that he's doing this.
I mean, yeah, in the CTL you get to actually study your opponent's replays, so you actually have time to prepare against this. Now, one of the advantages of always cannon rushing is that there's always that one game that you actually don't go cannon rush, and then maybe that screws with your opponent. But yeah, we'll see how Xeno's PvP non-cannon rush goes, because I know his weakest matchup is probably PvT. I think, yeah, in PvP, like you said, and PvZ, he's probably pretty confident.
Yeah, PvT is a tough one right now. I mean, I even laddering some, and I think it's kind of in a weird situation right now where I don't know what the meta is, but I don't know. I feel like PvT right now, that's what a lot of our diamond players are struggling with more so than PvP, because those are a bit more straightforward. PvT requires some different tricks. I don't know what your thoughts are about that.
It's a little difficult for me to say because my favorite matches was actually PvT, but I do know a lot of Protoss that hates PvT as their matchup. I think it's just because of all the harass that Terran can do. It can be overwhelming at times, and if you're like Xeno or your Nemesis who go for kind of unique specific compositions or builds, then it could lead to very one-sided game for Terran. So I mean, maybe that's why, but for me personally, I actually do like PvT the most.
For sure, I definitely think it's one of the more taxing matchups for Protoss, because drops are so good, stalkers aren't as good as they used to be, especially against the bio phase early. So that's something to consider.
Yeah, but there's actually Mr. Hyde stalkers actually bypasses Xeno's stalkers, and Xeno, with a bit of micro, can actually come up ahead with this. Does take down one stalker, so Mr. Hyde will have to retreat.
Yeah, nicely done there. I think Mr. Hyde could have gotten that last stalker if he focused on it, but missing that opportunity, and now Xeno's going to be a stalker up in the early game.
Yeah, and look at this. He has a proxy pylon out in the map. We'll see what he's going to do there, because Mr. Hyde is throwing down his robo, and we'll see what that pylon is for.
J Skippy in the chat saying, hey, what's going on, man? Saying Snooganoth or Gorgoopy. And I guess Gorgoopy it is. I guess that's been decided for us.
Gorgoopy. Okay. You know what? I can dig that. So
yeah, I feel like we can workshop that a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't know.
Potentially. Even Salavant's got a good one. Salupi.
Yeah. That has more, you know.
It just rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, it rolls off the tongue a bit more.
So both players naturals coming up pretty similar times. Xeno's a little bit delayed, but we have Twilight Council out for Mr. Hyde as opposed Xeno does not. So charge will be done a lot quicker, and we see that proxy. Looks like he's going to try to make something work with Stalker all in, sort of.
Oh, Lanfer actually suggested Snoop Pot, but I don't think that. Yeah, I don't think that works too.
Close Pussy Guard. Okay, so he's doing some War Prism Micro with the Stalkers. We'll see if he gets this done. So far, no Stalkers have died. Really good Micro, but the problem is there's Charge, and Stalkers versus Charge Zealots. You just don't win. I mean, not without Blink and some insane timing.
Yeah, it looks like Xeno actually made a random shield battery here, so he will be able to regenerate some of his Stalkers, but I don't know if he can actually break this with the Charge. Oh, actually getting some nice Overlord snipes here, so that's nice. But once the Immortal comes out, it's going to be even more difficult to actually break this.
And Xeno has done this all at the expense of probes. He's down about 10 workers. So yeah, Xeno's not in a great spot. I think what he's trying to do with this, if this was more of just a straight up Stalker build, then he would have some more Stalkers than normal, and with good Micro could make it work. But Mr. Hyde going straight for Charge directly counters the build from Xeno. So nice play by Mr. Hyde.
Alright, so Xeno, one of the things he can actually do is try to abuse the positioning. He's going to actually go ahead and throw down some, warp, I guess drop his army at the top. Kind of get the army position out of place for Mr. Hyde, but I don't know. This still looks a bit difficult to hold. I mean, to break rather.
He force filled the ramp, but it expired before any use could really be blocked. He gets one Immortal there, so he is getting some nice angle at first, but there's just so much more here for Mr. Hyde. I think, yeah, Xeno, he's trying his best to Micro, but Micro can only get you so far in StarCraft 2.
I gotta say, that's one of the most awkward engagements there. With the force field and also the Zealots being stuck behind with that little wall there. But it looks like Mr. Hyde is going to feel confident enough to go ahead and just attack and kill the whole entire army of Xenodactyl as well as Shield Battery.
Yeah, I mean, I think if he totally sacked his army, like he split it up, sent some into the natural, and just hardcore committed to the base and, you know, kept chain force fielding that ramp, then maybe we could have seen something. You know, he could have went straight for the probes or something like that. That's really what he had to do. But now, just kind of going for some structures. Not much he can do here. There's one Immortal out for him. The shield batteries aren't even done. This is just going to be it.
Yeah, I mean, there is one Immortal for Xenodactyl here that could help him provide... Oh, actually, the shield battery's done, so that might actually help him. But, I don't know. It's going to be pretty close. Ooh, nice War Prism Micro on that weakened Immortal there.
Yeah, he's making the best out of his Immortals. He might gun down the opposing Immortal, but the shield battery's mana is all out. All he has now. So this is it. Unfortunate. Interesting strategy from Xeno. I think it could have worked in some situations. I've never seen that actually recently. Like, I know that people used to do that and then just hardcore commit to the main, but he actually was just trying to out micro early.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen, that little, gateway warp prism push that Xeno did, but I feel like he didn't execute it correctly because it actually I felt like a little bit late. Looks like Mr. Hyde actually had more than enough to defend against that when the attack happened. So, yeah, so looks like Xeno will go down and FxB will take their first point on the scoreboard. So currently 3-1 and still in favor of Psionic Aftermath.
Yeah, when you're doing those type of builds, they got to be clean. I mean, you cannot slip up on your macro on those builds. You got to grind them out in single player, so you can do it with your eyes closed, and that's it can be difficult to do. But yeah, nice try from Xeno, and we'll be seeing more of him in this CTL season for sure. More opportunities. So for set number 4, this is set number 5 actually. This is the math. This is Diamond 1. So we have our very own Landfear here in the chat. How you doing, buddy? He's been a consistent Terran for us. Been an amazing team player for PsiX in general. Just a great guy, and really glad to see him playing this CTL season. He's quite talented, and I think he's going to be competing this in the D1 slot more often. This week we do have Lord of Terran, but we're getting him in there so he can play before his promotion. But for this game, in the top corner of Cerulean Falls, we have the Red Terran Yona.
And here, spawning at the bottom right corner of the map, it is the Orange Terran representing Psionic Aftermath. It is Landfear.
I guess Landfear, it's a name from the book series, no?
I'm not actually sure. Time? I was always wondering how he got his name, Landfear.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's from a book series.
Okay, yeah, that would make sense. Because I haven't heard the term Landfear anywhere else.
Okay, it says Wheel of Time. Yeah, that's a...
Oh, okay, Wheel of Time.
Series. So, we've got our second TVT of the day, and this is a big map. Cerulean Falls. So, will we see some macro from these players, TVTs? Macro TVTs are fun. They're, I would say, in this current state of StarCraft 2, TVT is probably the most positioning. Positioning matters the most in your matchups. So it's always fun when we have a matchup like that in StarCraft 2, where it's just all about where you place your tanks, your split-second decision making, your tank placement, and the finer details are everything. So I would love to see some longer TVTs in this season of CTL on some of these larger maps.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the map itself, Cerulean Fall, I mean, this is probably one of the maps where you would expect macro play, not cheese play, because especially in TVT, because there's only one place that the Reaper can actually jump in and out of is through the natural. Something like Blue Shift or another map like a Parasite. There's 2 places where you can jump in and out with the Reaper, and that actually calls for more cases of cheeses. But this map probably standard, and it looks exactly what both players are doing.
In addition to that, it's got a pretty small ramped natural entrance, so you can wall that off pretty easily, and it's pretty good for defending. So I think that a lot of times though, even though some maps will have potential for great macro games, like Darkness Sanctuary comes to mind, they can just get cheesed a ton on 2. It's just kind of how things work.
Yeah. Oh, looks like Landfear with 2 Reapers will go ahead and get the Reaper. Oh, but these Hellion arrived just in time.
Yeah, so gets 1 SCV and a Reaper for 2 Reapers. Those Reapers were pretty much trapped in there once they moved past. There was nowhere else to jump out.
Lord Terran says the defensive player would be favored on this map, to be honest.
Definitely agree.
Yep.
We had Ariok. I casted with Drop, the Ariok vs. Davril series, and it was super defensive by Davril, and the game wore on like way longer than it needed to, just because it was a really good defensive map.
But then there are those little cliffs area, kind of, you know, below the third, where you can actually siege up tanks and stuff. Oh, we actually had 5 bit cheers from Nemesis. Thank you for the bits cheers, Nemesis. Hope to see you in next week's replay cast. See how your game goes.
Oh yeah, just playing this week. So, army composition wise, we've got both players. Actually, okay, no, Lanfear went for a second Rax. Yona went straight into Hellions. So we've been seeing sometimes players skipping Hellions like Lanfear did. You know, it's a bit more defensive. They're not always necessary getting those first few Hellions. But now we're switching into mech for both players. We've got Reactor Starport up for Lanfear. He's got his medevacs being produced. He might go for a drop. And both players going for Tech Lab factories.
Yeah, so probably going for that. Maybe transition to like siege tanks and marines, kind of that play, which is pretty popular.
Yeah, both players getting stem and eBay as well. I think I said, yeah, just getting some tank bio, most likely what we're going to see.
Now, interesting enough, Lanfear has not actually thrown down his third command center yet. The third CC has been thrown down by Yana, so he will be ahead in terms of his third command center. But he's thrown it inside his base, so you know it takes time to actually lift off and float away to the third. And it looks like Lanfear instead is going to go ahead and go for an attack here.
Okay, he's got to be really careful about this. There's a ton of cyclones here.
Oh boy! Oh boy!
Okay, really great positioning from Lanfear here. He's stemming forward. Yeah, this is medevac Marines versus non-medevac Marines right there. This is going to get mown through.
You know what? I feel like that actually went pretty even there.
Yeah, it did. There's units lost, slightly favoring Lanfear, but Yona had a lot more Marines there. At least, maybe I read that wrong, but I think if Yona had a double medevac there, with that positioning on the cliff, would have been way more effective against that. And Lanfear's third is up as well. Yana's just decided to go for the orbital in base first. I'm going to float that over. So Lanfear, getting that with that exposed CC, is still going to be... Ooh, there's actually stand. Nice call from Yana. We'll get that up a little bit faster. But here's the thing, Lanfear is sieging outside of the base, so Yana's not going to really be able to push out unless he does go for drops.
Oh, and he's actually kind of containing him as he's floating on his third base, so Lanfear will actually have his third up and running a bit quicker than Yana.
Yeah, this is a sick contain. There's a second siege shake coming up here. And it's tempting to try to break out. Why?
Yeah, I was wondering the same. Why he just left?
Yeah, that was questionable for sure. Luckily, one tank will survive. Oh! He sniped the medevac that had the tank. That is so sick. He's just gonna lose right here.
Oh man!
That decision to pick up the tanks easily goes down as one of the worst decisions we've seen in a while. Ooh, and Lanfear noticing the Widow Mine there, picks up. It's just smart from him all around.
Yeah, I mean, Lanfear playing really well right now. He looks like Yana's third base has to go and float away into the black hole of no return. because right now he's just got to worry about the attack right at the front of his natural. But I don't know how he's going to defend against this.
Just needs to go for base trade, then force the CC into the corner there, and go for a draw. Yeah, I mean, it's really weird because it looked like Lanfear made quite a serious mistake there by unsieging, but then he sieged up just in the right moment to get some really nice salvos on Yana's bio, and just Lanfear murdered him there. That was really one-sided when they were actually quite close.
Yeah. I mean, that's TBT for you. I mean, like you said, it's all about positioning. So there's a lot of fights that, you know, even if one turn is way ahead, they can actually come back just based on the engagement. And at this point, this is what we call a slow death. Nobody deserves this. Not even your worst enemy.
I mean, it's not quite as bad as, I mean, this hasn't gone on for too much longer, but like people who lift up buildings and send Mola to the map, man, those people just
it looks like actually
don't do it.
Yana lifted his third CC, or I guess now his second CC at the ninja, so he's trying to kind of hide it, but this Lanfear push is going, you know, closer and closer by the minute. And look at that, all those army coming across the map for Lanfear. Ooh, that'll be really tough to actually break out of.
Yeah, throughout all this, Lanfear has maintained pretty nice macro, keeping his mints low. And yeah, just generally playing quite well. He's got nice saturation on 3 bases. Getting his 4th up as well. This game is over, but you know, sometimes it's a mistake that a lot of players can make if they're ahead in a situation, just to get lazy and bank a ton of minerals for no reason and just kind of wait around. But you know, Lanfear, he's playing this out to the end, and this is a good opportunity to practice your macro for longer, see how long you can go without making serious slip-ups. So, nice play from him.
Oh, we actually have a Doom drop coming in.
This is so bad. Oh, that got shut down so hard.
Oh,
GG.
Yeah. That only works if there's no Marines to buffer the tanks. But I guess he was, at that point, he was desperate. He was like, he knew. That was like all in right there. But anyhow, that secures the 4th win for Psionic Aftermath. So they currently score is 4-1. So they've secured the week.
Yep. And starting off strong. Chevy saying just learn you can switch into group with tab. Well, gotta learn sometime, I guess.
You know, one of the things that helps a person improve in terms of their rankings and their skills is just to learn the basics and the mechanics of the game. And one of that is learning, you know, how to do different hotkeys, how to switch in and out, how to add, or how to add and take away. It's like, you know, once you get used to it and once you learn it, you become a much better player.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of players can slack on learning location hotkeys to a long time. But I think to really, in StarCraft 2 especially, to get beyond Diamond, I'd say, you really got to be using your hotkeys efficiently, and especially camera hotkeys as well. So that's something that you got to learn sometime, and the quicker you learn it, the more you will improve. Even it can be hard for a couple, you know, a decent amount of games, but once you do, you'll become so much more efficient.
Yeah, I mean, I've myself learned the camera hockey near the end of HOTS. Like, I knew it was around. I knew the pros would use it, but I didn't take the time to learn it. But at the end of HOTS, I started learning it, and yeah, it was a bit difficult at first, but once you kind of, you know, repeat it and have the repetition going, it becomes easier over time, and it really helps you in terms of your macro mechanics, in terms of being able to macro and micro at the same time.
Definitely. Alrighty, without further ado, introduce our players in the bottom corner here of Blue Shift again. we've got the Blue Zerg Swarmonomics. This is his first week with us. He's a new player, joined Masters 2, and this is his first week.
Sweet. And here at the top right corner of the map, it is the yellow Protoss representing FxB. It is Trumpet. If only had a Trumpet little noise pack in the background.
Yeah.
That would help really much in that introduction. It's like dun, 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 dun.
Need a soundboard, man.
Yeah.
You just do all these things. All the cool streamers have soundboards.
Yeah, I heard the soundboard with a little, like, every time the game is done, there's like the GG is like GG.
GG. Yeah. So, yeah, this is Blue Shift again. So, PvZ's on Catalyst and also Blue Shift. We're macro, this is a map where you've got those long lanes pushing down the middle, and you can expand. I mean, unlike Catalyst, I'd say it's harder. So Catalyst in the old pool was probably one of the easiest to get to up to 4 bases and beyond on, just because everything was spread out on a line and you could get a really nice, angle of coverage with the bases. But now it's back to the more traditional map style that we've seen, where it's a little bit hard beyond the 4th because you're spread out so far and you've got so much surface area to watch for.
Yeah, I mean, by the way, I don't know if you know this, but this map, if you like kind of rotate around, it's like exactly like Catalyst.
Yeah, so it's similar, but one of those things that's different, as I do think the 4th is a bit harder to establish. Now, one thing here is Trumpet went for a Stalker first.
Yeah, that allowed him to actually get that Overlord at the top too.
Yeah, sometimes that is an indicator that we're going to see some 2-base, not cheese, but 2-base play here. So, like something like an 8-gate all-in, or a lot of gate pressure, because shooing the shooing the Overlord away is really important in your build. Denying tech, he could just be going for denying tech, but we do see a lot of times when players are going for 2-base pressure, is they do get Stalker first.
Yeah, but it looks like Swarmonomics going for a 2-base attack on his 2-base timing of himself, as he's got a Nidus network just about to pop up. So he's going for the Roach push here. Oh, and the Nidus has been thrown down. Does Trumpet notice this though?
Let's see.
Yeah.
In his field of vision. Wow, it's out already. This is insane. The Immortals are way out of position here. They're going to get so much ground. Are the transfuses? But they are so far.
And the Artosis pylon goes down.
Nice. That shield battery definitely had a lot of mana left on it. There's not much left here for Swarmonomics, though. The Queens, there's no mana. That Immortal is powering away. The probes are fighting. He's losing a lot of probes. A couple more roaches popped out at a perfect time to get a ton of probes. But this push is eventually going to peter out.
Yeah, that Immortal doing so much damage.
Oh, he's pulling the drones through, I guess, to get some Queen probes.
Oh, you don't see this every day.
Yeah,
wow.
I don't like that. I feel like if he, I guess it's pretty all in, but he killed a decent amount of probes, saved the drones, and tried to make something happen with this. I don't know.
Oh man, yeah, that was definitely weird.
Yeah, I think that was not the best call.
Oh yeah, and I think that allows Trumpet to actually go ahead and probably maybe hold on. He does have 3 Immortals, so I feel like that should be enough.
Yeah, this many Immortals, there's no way those Queens will be able to fight that.
Oh man, and Swarmonomics had to do significant damage with this, because he's down 16 workers to 27, and he doesn't even have a 3rd base too, so this is like pretty much all in for him, and I don't think he will eventually break this, because Yeah, those mortars are just really strong. And the Warp Prism Micro as well to go along with that. Oh, man.
Yeah, this is an nail in the coffin here. Interesting play. You know, 2-base Nidus is definitely viable. It's strong. But I wonder... I don't know. I feel like definitely sacking the drones was definitely a big mistake. But also, I don't know. Maybe he had to.
I mean, also, I feel like this probably was a bit of a build order loss because if you notice, Trumpet actually went for Robo first instead of like Stargate or Twilight. If you went for like those tech units for Stargate or Twilight, he would have probably died to that more easily. But he went for the Robo, went for the Immortal immediately, and I think that kind of really helped Trumpet defend against that push.
It's true. Yeah, I mean, if he went Stargate, then that situation likely would have been way different. Especially, you know, some Oracle's going to do nothing against this. But he got that Immortal out quite quickly. He got Immortal production started before even the Twilight Council. Yeah, I'm dead. So, loss for Swarm though, but it's an interesting build. I think it's definitely one worth keeping, worth working on, because you can definitely knock out some Protosses that aren't on their, you know, their map vision, their map presence, aren't predicting it. You can definitely get some wins with it that way.
Yeah, for sure. Looks like Swarmonomics down 0-1, and this is a best of 3 series, so there's still a chance for Swarmonomics to come back, but again, Trumpet only needs one more, so gonna be interesting, and it's gonna be on Parasite.
Yeah, this is a best of 7, but all games are played, and the map score, the overall score, does make a difference. So, you know, these games are not they're not as meaningful as, you know, the actual sets, but some seasons the difference between making the playoffs and not has been decided by maps. So, getting a really good map score is definitely something that we can. Definitely something that's a positive. And all right, here down in the bottom corner of Parasite, we've got the yellow Protoss Trumpet.
And spawning at the top left of the corner of the map, it is the blue Zerg player. For Psionic Aftermath, it is Swarmonomics.
Do you have the that old overlay on? The title thing?
Yeah, I just put it on just in the beginning just so people know which person is from which team. Because, you know...
that's cool. That's slick.
Yeah, it's a CTRL-N, so you can pop it on and off whenever.
Huh. You know... a control... Yeah, oh, that's cool. You know, I actually liked that old interface a bit better than this. You know, the old WCS 3.0?
Uh-huh, yeah.
That was definitely nice. Okay, so this is a PVZ, and on Parasite, Trumpet is going for the wall on the low ground. We'll see if Swarm does another 2-base shenanigan, or if he goes for standard macro. This is kind of the first time we're seeing him play, so still a lot we don't know about his play style and what he prefers.
Yeah, this is exactly the first time I've actually seen Swarmonomics play. I know he's around like I think 4.7 to 4.8 MMR, but in terms of playstyle, yeah, I have no clue. I mean, just like we don't have any clue about Xeno's playstyle. I mean, you know, that's like a complete mystery for us.
In the dark.
Yeah, it's a Scooby-Doo mystery. You know, take some investigating.
Yeah, I feel like I had that discussion about like, yeah, that show kind of disturbed me as a kid watching it. But we got Stargate coming out for Trumpet. What's your take on this, Snoopy?
You know, I like this actually because this map really hard to go to your opponent's base through ground because there's a lot of obstacles or little pathways, kind of zigzaggy. So with the air, you can kind of fly over quickly, and there is a good amount of airspace between at least the natural, and also probably the dirt as well. And also it's just really solid opening for Stargate play in terms of PvZ, so don't mind that at all.
Yeah, despite how many times I say Cerulean Falls and Darkness Sanctuary are so good for macro, I actually feel like Parasite is one of the better maps to be defensive in macro, just because the third is pretty accessible if you take it in the back here. And I mean, you can take the front, fourth, and third, and you don't have that much surface area to cover. So, and especially because the that forward base, it's kind of confusing because, yeah, on my screen I'm pointing it out, but the forward base, you can get a nice angle of defense. Can throw down the rocks and got a lot of small chokes. So, especially for a Protoss, getting up to 4 bases, I don't think is a huge issue, and defending as well. So you got a lot less surface area. That's really, I think, what contributes to a map being macro or cheesy oriented. Like a map like Fracture, it's really good for based cheese.
Oh,
like this.
Actually, like I said in the last game, going for Stargate play is really tough against Nidus play, and there is a Nidus right in the main of Trumpet. And here we go. Queens has popped out. Roaches have popped out.
It's so funny that just as I'm saying how this is a macro map, we see Nidus again.
Yeah.
And he's going to win with this too. This is funny.
Yeah, it's really tough to defend against this when you're going for air, especially if you're going for Oracle and Phoenix instead of Void Ray. So yeah, I think Sormanata is kind of going risky, actually repeating the same build as he did last game.
Yeah, I mean, in one sense, it's kind of like, ooh, nice transfuse there at the very last second. It's like the psychology of Trumpet's probably thinking that too. Like, he won't go, he won't go Nidus again.
Cheese the same way.
Oh, he won't do that again. Swarm's like, oh, really? Try me. And then he just wins like that. So, I like it from Swarm, predicting that Trumpet will go Stargate and then just winning with a Nidus.
Looks like Nemesis is like, what's all this Nidus? I guess she doesn't. Nemesis doesn't see any much Niduses play on in her own games, but it's a possibility.
Yeah, it's a good unit.
Nidus, good unit.
Yeah, one of the things that was critical there, the transfuses were on point of both games. He didn't lose a queen when it could have been transfused. A lot of players, if you're going to do Nidus play, you have to land your transfuses. Otherwise, you will die because you have to make your queens last to the point where they're so cost effective, because they're pretty terrible straight up attackers. But the real strength is when they can sit back and attack for so long and stay alive basically forever. So that's something he's doing, and it's something that's critical to making Nidus play work.
Yeah, I mean, especially because a lot of players, they target the Nidus itself, and so you need to actually be on point with that, transfusing the Nidus itself so that it doesn't go down. You can continue to reinforce.
Yeah, it's definitely a intense micro situation, and if you're not familiar with it, you can crumble. But all right, for game 3 here of Swarm vs Trumpet, and the very last game of the CTL week, in the top corner of Lost and Found, we've got Trumpet.
And spawning at the bottom left corner of the map, it is the blue Zerg player for PsiX. It is Sormonomics.
It's interesting, when we were sending, his application through for CTL, he accidentally got mistakenly put on SC Swarm because they had been assumed that his name, he'd be a Swarm player, and we had to fix that. But I just thought it was hilarious that the admins assumed that a Zerg player with this name would be on SC Swarm.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, man, that's funny.
hopefully his ZVZ is on point as well, because that's one of the things that we're, I want to be focusing on, is making sure our ZVZ, our race versus Z matchups are strong, because it's interesting because last season I watched SC Storm through the playoffs, and they just annihilated players with these good builds. Like, a lot of the games weren't even macro games. They were really cheesy. They were really aggressive, but they were calculated. They knew their builds, and they were tailored for the map, tailored for the player, and for the matchup. So that's something we got to be sharp against our Zerg cheese and aggression. So it's something we're going to be practicing, and hopefully with these new players, Swarm, Cosmic, all these players, Callan, all these guys joining, we can be sharper on than we were last season.
Yeah, I mean, they were very dominant, but surprisingly, I think the first week they actually won 4-3, so it was actually pretty close. So maybe they don't have their stronger lineup this season, because I know that last season they put in a lot of players that were close to the the division, the top of the division. They were close to getting promoted, so they put a lot of those players in. So they had a really great lineup, but I think most of them actually throughout the season got promoted. So it's possible that they've have a weaker roster compared to last season.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility. One of the things with the CTL is, because people can promote very frequently in the gold to diamond level. I mean, when you start practicing at the diamond level quite heavily, you will, or I'll say plat at least, you will progress quite rapidly, because I feel like a couple months of hard work, you can be in a diamond level if you're coached. So the constant promotions are really tough to deal with as CTL captains. So it's really hard to engineer your roster ahead of time. You can't, it's almost like you can't plan ahead that much, because people will promote anyways. So it really comes down to how lucky are you. But just jumping back into that, we had the Adept of Trumpet come in here, got 4 drones, which is a nice pickup, and the Nidus is down again.
Ooh, this is exactly like the same as the first game, except this first game, Trumpet actually got some good drone kills in the beginning. So this might be a bit tougher, and also the Immortal just came out. Ah, man, this is going to be tough. I'm not sure how this is going to work out, actually.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Okay, he throws the Nidus down. Trumpet's pulling back. He's got 2 Immortals out already, and sentries. So I think Trumpet could defend against. Why isn't he getting close to the Nidus? He just literally let that happen to him.
Oh, man.
Oh, he missed one. Oh,
he does get that second one, though. Oh, but the shield battery is about to finish.
Yeah, with the shield batteries up. Okay, this is a really smart decision from Swarm. He got some kills here. He got 15 probe kills. That's very respectable. But just leave. He had a chance. Keeps his queens alive. Gets his third base up. And I think he will be able to transition into a macro game. That's the thing with Nidus, is when you get enough damage done, you can transition back into a normal game. And I think he will be able to here.
Yeah, and he will be able to, just because, compared to the first game, the difference is he did not pull drones into the Nidus this time. He did not sack them. So he still have them alive, still mining. And he's already transitioning into Hydra's Den with a +1 on the way.
Yeah, and there's always a possibility of another Nidus, too, as well.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Oh, actually, Trumpet walled off his thing completely. So this looks like a pretty all-in, as he's not going to get a dirt base anytime soon. Oh, nice scout by the Ling, though.
A backstab. Okay, Nidus is down, and we'll see. Trumpet's already halfway, about a quarter of the way across the map. He's stalling here.
Oh my god, he doesn't even have a recall available yet.
Whoa.
Oh, wait, and actually now he does.
Okay. He needs to get that recall down. Oh, there it is.
Wow. You know what? I like this by Swarmonomics. He delayed the push that Trumpet was about to go for. I think if Trumpet actually went attack straight up, Swarmonomics probably would have died, but he's delaying with the Nidus and pulling his whole unit back, giving him more time to produce more units.
Yeah, I really like that from Swarm. If he was doing that, he delayed this attack by, I don't know, a good 20 seconds. And that's critical. So he looks like he was trying to do it again. There is a Stalker there to push the Overseer away. But those are small moves that are actually really smart and could cost him the game. Trump's decision making isn't too great here. His push has been delayed so much. It feels like he's not making the right decisions against this Nidus play here. And I think Swarm on creep, this is going to be tough because those mortals are good. There's only 2 here as opposed to 4 or 5 that there should be.
I mean, there's still a pretty scary Protoss army. Oh, wow. Nice force field.
Yeah, he missed a couple of transfuses there. That was really good.
Oh, but that force field, those 3 force fields, not the best. Oh, man. It started out with some great force fields, but I think those later force fields, not the best. He still have a scary army, though. This is going to be a tough hold for sure.
Yeah, for sure. He's migrating with the Warp Prism pretty nicely. The Stalkers are going down here. There's still only 2 Immortals, and when you're attacking into a Zerg, they can just continue to rally for so long.
But the Warp Prism did get sniped down, though.
Yeah, this is pretty much all Trumpet has here. He's on 2 bases, but he's mining out in his main here. Well, the drones are going to get on top of the Immortals. If they get one of these Immortals, okay, those Immortals are so low. Yeah, Swarmonomics is in a great position here. Trumpet, he's starting his 3rd now, but it might be a little bit too late here as his mining is really poor in both bases.
You know, it's not pretty bad. Actually, yeah, I think Trump is actually in a pretty good position, though, because he does have more workers. He killed a lot of, drones during that attack, and he's got his 3rd base, and it doesn't look like Swarmonomics is going to take a 4th base anytime soon. So this might actually been a really good trade for Trumpet here.
I think one of the things that is going to be on his side here is Lost and Found is a really easily defendable choke for the 3rd. It'll get a couple pylons and behind it, and the Zerg is not going to be able to attack into it. So I think if he gets his 3rd up and running, and it doesn't get shut down, then this is going to be pretty good for him here. And I think the map's definitely going to play into his favor. Swarm looks like he's going to try to go for another Nidus, but I'm questioning the decision not to go for another 4th. Okay, the Nidus is up here, but the army is way out of position. It's at the 3rd. It's coming up. We'll see how much he commits to this, as the army's here, basically.
Yeah, it's practically here. Okay, it looks like he's not going to commit to it. Yeah, I don't know about this Swarm. I mean, this Nidus play. He did it 2 times already in the previous games, and then he's tried it for the 3rd time. I mean, the good thing is that I guess in the future, like, if he decides to change up his strats, then people can't scout it. But going 3 straight games with Niduses, that's pretty risky, or that's pretty ballsy in his for him to decide to do that.
Yeah, I think up until this point, his Nidus play has been really good. It's delayed that push. I think that push, if it came earlier, could have done critical damage. The one thing I think is big here is no 4th from Swarm. Trumpet is up on a 3rd base here, and that's pretty huge. Swarm could have had a 4th up and running by now. And he's going for Lurkers, which Lurkers are pretty good. Oh, there's another Nidus coming down with the natural. This might be pretty good. If he gets Lurkers in there sieged up, it's going to be a nightmare.
Oh yeah, for sure. He does have a recall, I believe, but will he use it? Or will this go into a base trade here? Oh, it looks like he is going to go for the base trade instead.
There are no Lurkers morphed here, so that is too little too late. But this is a pretty scary army coming in here. Swarm can start to whittle it down because this is it. With the Hydras here in the... Oh, they're shut down. They got the natural, but meanwhile, he's having to pull drones to fight again. He's pulling from both sides.
Oh my
all
god.
his ults are gone, but he's using so many drones. This is nuts.
Pulling the boys. Oh, he actually recalls. Nice recall there.
This is just weird both ways.
For sure.
I'm not sure what happened to all the Hydras. Maybe I missed something. Probably was a warp in.
He sniped the Nexus and then he retreated back to the Nidus to help reinforce defending that attack.
Right. Yeah, Swarm really hasn't had many units here because he's on 3 bases still. So his economy is suffering. And attacking into this choke here from Swarm, if you have lurkers, this can be super strong. Actually, they're corruptors. Sorry, Ravagers, excuse me. He went for the den and then just decided not to do anything with it, which is interesting.
All right, here we go. Oh my god, that's a really nice position for Swarmonomics. All the Zealots in the back cannot engage into the defense.
Yeah, beautiful Biles here coming down here on the Immortals and Archons. There's nothing here. He's just powering through. And GG.
Wow.
That was just a really strong use of corruptors there in that choky third of Lost and Found, really abusing the map quite well. Nicely done by Swarm. Loved how he played that game with the Nidus play, delaying the pushes, doing really well there. And Swarm, I'm really liking what I'm seeing from him so far. You know, being cheesy, but also in that game, macroing when he had to. I think his macro still could have been better, but still a really nice showing from him. Yeah,
and for sure. And yeah, PsiX will take it 6-1 for week 1.
Yeah, everybody's been doing a great job. You know, Sippy, my co-captain, Zeno, Azure as well, doing the practice side of it. It's been a group effort. We've been starting strong. Thank you to everyone that played this week. We did really well. I'm hoping we can continue the success against Team UR, which we're playing this week. Players will start to play their matches later in the week. So if you're watching this, be sure to cheer those guys on. The suggested practice partners will come out tonight. I think Zeno might have already posted those. So look for those if you're playing this week. See who you're playing. And yeah, good luck to everybody playing this week, and GG to everyone that played.
Yeah. All right. I guess this concludes the cast. Do you have any last words before we end the stream?
No, probably going to be, or actually, yes. Probably going to be doing it same time next week, Monday or Tuesday. Probably, same time. Hopefully I can stream. Just something weird happened and wasn't able to. And we'll see you guys next week. Hope everyone has a great rest of their week, and we'll see you guys next time.
All right. See you guys, everybody.
Yep. Take it easy, guys.